This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show.
Alive! It's alive!
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure! Come on in!
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
Where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun? Any of those right?
Now we have to find ourselves a patsy, okay? Somebody who could be Dr. Detroit.
So you have no boots.
No.
You have no gloves.
No.
You have no hat.
No.
You have no scarf.
No.
You have no scraper.
No.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
This is the ladies' man.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
Hell yeah.
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
How are we not sponsored by PBR and Slim Jim yet?
Damn it. Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Jeremy, I may have to wipe the geek off.
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
I'm thinking we need to start every episode with call every episode fast forward to the 3-minute mark. Longest intro in the history of podcasts. This is the IT in the D Show.
We get yelled at. There's less than a minute and Dave's downstairs. It's like, Phillips, where are you? Captain Soundboard is not here.
I had to run down and get my phone, and there was an old guy who needed the elevator, and I was trying to be nice and friendly and trying to be helpful.
That's because we left the elevator on the floor.
And then he wanted to empty all the trash out of his studio, and then he wanted to get his laptop, and I'm like,
he's a philanthropist, man. Give him a break.
No, I'm a pushover. That's the problem.
So this is the IT in the D Show here in the Raw Radio X studios.
There is no IT in the D badge.
Right. The Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. As always, this is Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. This is episode 40.
It is Lordy, the show hit 40.
Wow.
People still listen? I don't know.
Hit my age. We got a good show today. We have
for 3 days.
We got a great
Don't flatter yourself.
I know. We got a great segment. We're going to give the gas space this week to someone very special.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun going on this week.
We got Delane in the studio and Hajj Flemings. We're talking about StarterFest. This is going to be a fun week. So, yeah, we're live.
Yeah, so in case you want to hop in, we've got our phone number at 313-462-0107.
No one's going to call.
And no one's going to call. You can hit us on Twitter at IT in the D.
No one's going
to tweet at us. And you can hit us on Facebook at facebook.com/IT in the D, where we release the rules for the IT in the D drinking game, which is really simple. Every time we drink, you drink. Everyone wins.
I should have saved my...
That's an amazing game.
There's no Ouija board. There's no Monopoly money.
That's so last week, when Dave posted the episode, and we got 35,000 listens just on SoundCloud alone, and 2 likes, and it was me and Jeff. It's like, they listen.
There's 2 likes. Bob's like, that one was me. I'm like, the other one was me.
Nobody likes us, man.
No one likes us, but somehow people listen.
Hey, for an advertiser,
I'm still convinced that
they listen, but it's cost per impression, or what is the
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, CPM or whatever.
Yeah, they're too drunk to really engage. That's
is that what
problem.
it is?
Which we're okay with.
Okay, that's
those are our people.
So if they're drunk, they're drunk enough to hit play but not stop, I'm fine with that.
Right.
No, geeks drinking and they listen to the show, and that's what we found out is our core demo,
our demographic.
Yeah. So, should we dive in on who gets the gas face this week?
Let's go right ahead.
Is that what we're calling this now, by the way?
Yeah, it's the gas face segment.
I love it.
Which I feel bad for not having the song. Now that we just decided on that 10 minutes ago.
What do you think about Hema? So. We've been doing IT networking in this town since 2001.
Yeah.
To this date, I'd love to tally up what we've spent. We've never taken in a dime, and it's not
or what we've lost.
No, but it's never been a for business thing. And it was all about networking. It was all about meeting people.
To clarify, we've taken in a dime because we have had sponsors for some of our events.
but
we've never made a dime.
But that dime, that sponsor dime went to pay for beer.
There's a difference between profit and covering costs.
Right. We want. Yeah, we get it $1,000. We give free beer for 2 hours. It's a completely different story. But there, along the way, there's been companies that have come and gone that have tried to do networking events or tech events or some events in town that aren't from here.
Speak on it.
And they swoop in. And they preach the good story of Detroit and how much we're a big fan, and then they take your $20-$30 a head and your $10,000 sponsorship,
and they fly back to Chicago
and they fly back to New York.
What is that? The Circle Jerk after work? What is that? Yeah.
It's like a bad Dilbert cartoon.
Yeah.
Too many times I've heard, you guys are the network after work guys, and my head wants to explode. I'm like, do you see what those guys do?
Yeah.
They charge $20 a head. They make $6,000 an event, and it's basically 300 insurance guys and real estate guys selling to each other. And they swoop out with a $5,500 check because they covered $500.
Joking about this at the bar, I'm like, where does that money go?
And they take sponsors.
And it's all for profit.
Well, and so the backstory with there's one in particular where it's an out of work club promoter in L.A. or from L.A. that basically couldn't do that job, and so he decided he was going to start a networking group. And I mean that was what 2 years ago. That was my 1-for-1 for that year.
And they thought that was our event. That's the problem. We can't go to events now.
People think those bad events are us.
Because we'll show up. Me and Dave showed up to the event, and everybody goes, "Oh yeah, that event at the casino wasn't." I go, "Dude, that wasn't our event. We were just showing up." So I can't even network now.
Right?
It's just a crappy events because they think it's us.
Yeah, crappy events actually pollute the ecosystem. They make it so bad for everyone who does something that's meaningful.
Well, that's
somebody else is making our first impression.
See, that's the thing, Delane. I don't know if you followed the history of us. That was the one.
Can we send just C&Ds just on for being DBs?
No, they get the gas.
Here's your DB C&D.
Right. No, they get
I just found the title for the next Don't Be That Guy.
No, they get the gas face. That's like you've been, But we always wrote those Don't Be That Guy entries because we didn't want Affleck guy polluting our events. Mm-hmm. So we figured if we pounded our chest loud enough on people that we didn't like, that they wouldn't come to the events. And
they still come.
No, lo and behold,
they don't, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I need to learn from you guys, man. What do you guys?
No, that's we'll get the occasional hovering on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. That'll and then they'll poke their head in and be they'll find one and be like, hey, so I'm in medical, I'm a nursing, or I'm an attorney. You guys are right. Why doesn't anybody do this for my industry? I don't know. Not my problem.
But some of them have been actually obvious. Like a guy actually showed up at one of our first Pink Slip events and brought out a whole briefcase full of stuff to peddle.
Oh my God! Do you remember?
And we actually walked him out. We're like, no, not here. Get out.
Yeah, the old 1950s Fuller Brush door-to-door sales guy briefcase.
I see those guys at my barbershop all the time.
Oh yeah, right.
He walked in, tried to set up shop, and we're like, no, not here. Not going to happen.
Yeah, started pulling out all the lotions and potions and trinkets and trash, and saying, "We're like, what the heck? Go!"
But since we had the unjob fairs, we'd have Affleck guy trying to recruit, and he goes, "Oh, nobody wants to make any money here." We're like, "No, the wrong crowd, man.
No one wants to work for Affleck."
Exactly.
Here's your Affleck frisbee.
So we've done a good job trying to peddle or keeping that guy out of our events, and it's worked because even if we only get 100 people at our crowd, you don't have to whittle through or weasel through 400 people to get to those 10 IT guys.
All IT.
Everyone's IT, so you'll have whoever you talk to, you don't have to go,
not only IT, but their quality.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Well, the worst thing that the worst thing that happens at our events, and this conversation, our last event at Blackfin, it happened again because it happens at every event. You talk to somebody random. Hey, what do you do? I'm a developer. Or no, I'm in IT.
Yeah.
Great.
What do
So
you
is
do?
everyone in the room. What do you do?
They don't understand.
I'm a developer. Great. So's half the crowd.
Right.
What do you do? Well, I write .NET applications. You do. Perfect. Now I'll follow you away. We move on. Meet the new random recruiters that showed up. What are you looking for? IT people. What are you looking for? Developers. What are you looking for? And if you say good developers, I swear I will slap you.
5 years worth of experience.
So,
yeah.
how long was that conversation?
It happens every time. Oh, I'm looking for .NET developer. Perfect. There's one right here I just met. There you go.
I was told by a coworker I should be here.
No,
I
yeah.
need to find developers,
So back to the gas face. The cheapest way to get people to come to your event is by giving a company an award or creating a list of like you're an esteemed colleague. So we're going to put out a top 50 or top 100, and then we're going to give you this award. So that now you have to come
and then we're going to give it to 160 people.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one.
But guess what? You have to be present to win. So could you show up
No,
and
hold on a
bring
minute.
three
And
of
it's all
your
about
friends?
technology.
But it's not.
Yet it doesn't work on mobile. and we don't know how to spell Firefox.
No, so backstory there.
That was a French bug, though. Firefox A, right?
Oh, that was
Firefox A.
It's a Firefox.
So there's an event coming to town
it's called quality assurance. That's what that's called.
That's out of Chicago and New York, and it's typically was like a VC show, and they would hire like who do they hire to DJ? Calvin Harris. They hired to DJ for like $200,000. They paid.
Doesn't matter.
Again, we have it's great. It's nuts, and you're trying to get the IT community together, and you're trying to do it organically and naturally. And here you have fashion shows, and it's a dog and pony. It's in essence a big, huge shit show to try to bilk money out of the whole entire community.
Where's that bell?
Because when I think IT, I think fashion show.
Right.
and also,
unless you're catering to the geeks that haven't seen a real live woman in 10 years.
Right.
And by the way, top down does not equal organic. Right.
Point taken.
Well, if it's it depends on the definition of top down at the fashion show. If the tops are down at the back,
is that called a trickle down trade show? Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, let's have a job fair on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend when no one's
around.
We're
all going to be on their boat or beach or whatever.
So the list came out of this is the fun. Like when I said,
the list was released.
The list was released, and it was 160 people.
Yeah,
I wasn't on there. I wasn't aware. So.
Neither are we.
Hey, join the club, Delane, because
So you know what? Here's what we're gonna. We wanted to get Ghostbusters costumes.
Okay.
And just crash it.
Let's do it. And Hajj is actually the only African American person on the list. So
of course he is.
Weren't you saying they were going to pay you a consulting fee to try to find a minority speaker?
They wanted to find more.
Not them actually, but I mean, an association, I guess.
All right, but that's like the lowest form of we have no idea what we're doing.
Well, they did for Hajj. Actually, they didn't reach out to Hajj directly because we talked to them in the past, the Tech Week guys. And I guess what happened. It just didn't make sense for us. Like the things that they were asking, like they wanted us to help them find sponsors. We're like,
right,
hey, we're doing it in September. That's similar, a little bit different in terms of experience, but we can't help you guys extract resources from our community.
Yeah, I would like to not screw myself by helping you. I would like.
No, I want to be in that boardroom when they were like, guys, we need a real live black person to speak. Can someone help? Like, are you like that? I can't imagine it not going any other way than that. Like, give me a break. That's the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard.
There's got to be a contact here. Somebody knows a black guy.
Exactly.
Should we be talking about this?
Probably not.
No, then we're gonna get the Don Sterling thing. Delane's
laughing about it, so I mean, we're good, right?
We're all going to be blackballed, guys.
We were from the get go. It's the DVP love fest, so we were doomed from the beginning.
Well, I don't get when you put a list
the anti-love fest.
Well, the thing is, I love the DVP guys. I guess
rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does roll off the tongue. But no, I'll say this. I love Josh Linkner. He's a really great guy. He's helped me out in the past.
He does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Jake Cohen's that's my friend.
Right.
He's a pretty good guy.
And I think
those are two I can vouch for.
Right. Well, but I think part of the issue is it's the additional layers of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And the
It's not needed in the
and the
community.
insulation and all that stuff that like you have these people that are actually really cool, good folks that really want to do good stuff.
They get poisoned.
And then, no, and then you have all the people underneath them that are trying to empire build.
Well, see, we were talking about this at the bar, and it's like, imagine what you could do if you could check the egos at the door and not worry about credit.
Everybody wants credit.
Everyone wants to have their hand in the game and like have some sort of recognition. Just do it.
You know,
don't worry about having your banner on the side of a building. Who cares?
And just like Dave said, you know, with people like the people underneath the leaders,
right?
You know, trying to actually empire build. That's what we call gatekeepers, right? It's always the people who
if you don't tell the company line
to actually talk to the person that makes the decision, who wants to say, "Hey, no, we're not interested in this," without even hearing you out. They're like, "No, we're not interested in this," or who's associated. And if someone's associated, who they feel like they need to connect with or can get validation for being associated with, then they'll take the meeting
if it's worth it to them in the business sense.
Exactly. I'll give DVP that they've done more for the tech community in the last 3 years.
Oh my
than
God.
that's been done in the last 20.
Things, absolutely. I'm not going to deny that
and
at all.
Just so you laugh, I sold Josh his first T1 when he first started E-Prize, back in 97, 98.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of I don't think I've talked to him since. But
that's probably a good thing.
You should reach out, man. Get a book signed.
No. When you know people, no. There's a rule to that. Like if your friend makes it big in music or something. Like my one friend. Borderline made it, and he changed his name, and it's kind of like Sting. It's like, no, hey, Fred, and he got mad at me because no, my name's not, it's Sting.
It's not Daryl.
Okay. No, it's Daryl. It's Daryl.
It will always be Daryl.
Not Elton John. It's Steve. Like
right.
Your boyhood friends. It's always
For me, the first person I actually met in tech was Josh Linkner. He was the first guy who literally gave me a meeting.
Really?
I actually went to. It's a crazy story. I went to TEDx 2012 or 11. Whatever the case is, I think it was 12 actually because he spoke there. I was just turned 19. I had no idea really what technology meant, any companies in it. I was really fascinated with the daily deal industry. So I had throughout that entire summer spent all of my time literally day and night. Working on this idea I call Plenty Discounts. It was one of the first self-service platforms. Okay. It wasn't going to be based on a revenue share model. It was going to be subscription based. So it was really affordable and priced really for small and mid-sized businesses. It was really cool. It was the first of its kind. Groupon Now wasn't even out at the time.
Right.
So it was pretty sweet. I went to TEDx and I really just hustled all of these meetings. Printed these business cards the day before. I had a really fancy outfit picked out and everything. I actually met Josh Linkner. He's just chilling up in God, he was just chilling, watching the talks and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was the one at the DIA, right?
Yeah. No, actually, no. It was at the what is that?
No, DSO. The Fisher. Yeah, the Max. Yeah.
So I just got his card. I didn't think he was going to really take a meeting. I sent this heartfelt message and via email, and the guy actually responded. He set up a meeting in the CompuWare. This is when DVP was first getting off the ground. I think he was actually the only hire.
This was before DVP. Madison even existed.
Yeah, way before the Madison. So we're in the top floor of the CompuWare, and I'm going through. I didn't even know how to design, so I created a PowerPoint mock-up, and it was 120 slides, very detailed. I probably could still pull it up. I'm showing him the slides. I have financial analysis and everything like that broken down, and midway through he's like, you know what? I don't remember this verbatim, but his whole notion was I don't know if you're the guy to do this because you're young, you're inexperienced. However, I want to introduce you to Bisdom. This is when Bisdom still had those part-time.
I remember
classes
that.
And stuff like that. So to go into it, and I got Bisdom. I like Maria Lalonde. I like Ross. I just wasn't interested in going through that program at the time. But no, I mean, from there, he helped me out.
He recognized the talent in you, though. I mean, you're a doer, right?
I'll be honest, though, he killed that idea. But, and I've never said that. The thing is, when
sometimes that's what you do.
Yeah, but he didn't shoot you down, though. I mean, he gave you other opportunities, or showed you a path.
Yeah. So the thing is, he gave me a lot of opportunities, but also for a long time that hurt me because for the thing is, and in different ecosystems, you'll hear, or different hubs, whatever you want to call them, communities, you'll hear like these successful entrepreneurs who, even because like as a young entrepreneur, I looked up to him. I'm like, if he knows best, like if he has 74 out of the top Fortune 100 as clients,
right?
And he tells me I'm not the guy for this, I'm not the guy for it. Right?
He may know what he's talking about.
I'm young, right? And for me,
we always say we're not experts or ninjas or gurus.
Yeah,
I can't believe people listen to this show.
But we say all of our things we're talking about are from trial, error, and feedback. This is nothing that we're not claiming to be anything other than people that have failed so many times. We're telling you what's going on.
Right, and exactly. For him, he didn't claim that, but the thing is that he, instead of giving me like feedback, he told me I couldn't do it, and it really like hurt the idea, like hurt me in general, because I was like, now I was always looking for validation on ideas, like instead of just actually sticking through an idea.
The ones that fight are the ones that make it.
Yeah. Well, now I've since.
So you actually felt discouraged?
Yeah, I felt really discouraged because of it, and then he went on to invest in like some similar daily deal sites, which really like pissed me off.
Yeah,
actually,
shocker.
In the future, but
way to crush a young man's dreams, Josh.
That was like years later, but I've never shared that story, but it was like my first real experience. I was happy I learned that early, because then that let me know, like, don't accept any validation. Like, I don't need validation from anyone.
You know how I met Dave? I called on him for a year, and he kept telling me no. And I finally said, let's just go grab beers, and 15 years later, we're here we are.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. I continue to fight through it too, right? Like, but
me.
He still never actually bought anything from you, did he?
Yeah, but I never got a penny of commission.
Yeah, no. Still waiting for that beer.
It's like that one server with that $500K handoff for like $100 a month.
Box number one.
I'm still trying to sell him dial-up. So.
Right.
But one thing I can remember, finally about with the whole Josh thing, he invited me to the DVP demo day, and like I wasn't even, and I'm 21 now. Maybe I can say this. We went out to some restaurant, like I couldn't even get in, but like these guys like got me into the restaurant, like just like pay for everything. It was a lot of the experience. I mean, for me, I was I grew up on the west side of Detroit, man. Like I never think that I'd be even exposed to stuff like that. So
see, at 21, I was still selling beer, man. You're on the fast track.
You're
embraces.
You're like you're on the inside of the fast track.
I hope so, man. We'll see. I got a few more years. I got this guy grabbing some what.
So we got like 5 minutes. Can we like the gas face? I need to bury this once and for all. Otherwise, we'll never.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here you have this conference, and you need to get people there the worst way possible. So what do? You make a list of 100 people, and then they have to bring their wives and their coworkers going, I got a major award.
Or 160.
And then they make the 160. And not only that, you're having, the job fair on Friday, on Memorial Day weekend. You're charging an obscene amount of money. And I looked at the tracks, and none of them made sense.
None of them.
Like, remember I told you on the when we were having beers before this, like having like a at Cisco they have like a Cisco like a tech day,
right?
Where you're sitting in like they have 1 hour sessions all day long. And you're getting hands-on whiteboard experience with engineers. Like, this isn't it. It's fluff.
It's just like Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. You actually have tracks. You're actually talking to Apple engineers to work on apps.
Right. It's not like a dog and pony.
Right.
So this to me is like it's a big fluff show.
Right.
It's a ruffle your feathers. Look at how big my Lamborghini is. Whee! Look at me. And it's like who can have the biggest booth wins. And then they're going to take all their money and they're going to go back home. I mean, they have account executives for this. It's not, and I was saying...
there's a sales staff.
Right, that's what I mean. They're actually like, what's the top, like, 20 grand?
Yeah.
Like, what is that afford, like...
Yeah, it was like $4,000 just to be a partial sponsor.
Right, so
again, if you're a sponsoring company, what do you hope to get out of that?
Yeah. So when I spend MDF...
No, I mean, honestly, I'm asking. Like,
yeah.
if you,
I don't...
No, when I spend MDF, I want 20x return. So, on product and manufacturing. It's a little different for service
you
business.
You won't get it from that.
If you spend $1,000...
For the uninitiated, MDF being...
Market development funds.
There you go.
Sorry.
For those playing at home.
But if I'm sponsoring an event for $1,000, I need a 20K PO.
Right.
I think that depends though, because if you're doing a homegrown event, then you should just be happy that like for an event that maybe like StarterFest, we're bringing all of these experts or people who could be considered experts because they're very successful to a community that generally doesn't have those those opportunities. So these are uncommon opportunities, access to all of the knowledge that they could actually share, and if the content is relevant and it's homegrown, and if we don't
Homegrown's the key.
Yeah, and that's the value add.
Well,
that's the difference.
Relevance is the value add.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, it's true though. Yeah.
But like, we don't need $200,000 Calvin Harris spinning records here. We don't. We have plenty of good DJs in this town. We don't need a fashion show.
Right.
We need a good. We needed, that's why we had the name IT in the D. That came from us wanting to start a conference in town. That was a generic IT conference that encompassed the geek community, the business community, and the startup community, and actually had some relevant topics for across the board. And it wasn't a dog and pony peacock ruffle your feathers show. It was just a true grit. What the sponsorship dollars are.
Check your ego at the door.
Well, the sponsorship dollars are to cover the hard costs of the building and the food. It wasn't to make a business or money out of it.
Well, and people keep telling us we're doing it wrong, that we're not taking a profit.
We're not doing it wrong.
No, I know that, but people
right.
keep telling us that. I mean,
but even if you guys did, it's not a big deal because you have to feed your families. Like, people think that these folks who literally work hard to bring all of these great opportunities through events, which are really pivotal to helping shape a landscape, especially at its infancy, like Detroit is. You have to be able to provide for your family if you're going to invest the time.
See, for the
three, something quality, we have to invest the time.
But see, that's the key.
For the three of us, this is to help our 9 to 5.
Yeah, this is not our job, right? I mean, this is our laughably what we call our free time.
But it's yeah, but I mean, Bob and I have both experienced it. I mean, it's a differentiator when it comes to our jobs, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's affected me too.
Yeah.
I mean, when I sit in an interview and I tell them what I'm doing with this. And
this is on my LinkedIn profile.
There's two guys that have 15 years of IT sales experience, but I'm doing this. I shoot to the top of the list. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
It shows you have an initiative drive. It shows you're doing it right. It shows that you're connected.
Care.
You care.
We're giving back to the community. That's what it is. Yeah.
I'm mowing parks.
You're
on the
mowing
weekends.
grass. All right, well, hey, we didn't get to George Lucas. We didn't get to how Star Wars is screwing everybody. We didn't get to any of that nonsense. We will absolutely get to that.
X Games with Call of Duty.
We have X Games with Call of Duty. We have more with Delane. We got Hajj Flemings who joined us in the studio. We'll absolutely.
This is going to be one of those 4-hour shows.
It really is.
We could talk till 3 in the morning.
So yeah. But we are up against the first break.
This is the IT in the D show.
We will be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
I'll be passing them out at the door.
Welcome back. IT in the D Show, episode 40, here live in the Robert A. Oak Studios in the Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan.
I'm not going to lie, I still can't believe we hit 40.
And once again,
I hit 40 last year.
We're happy to be your 40th.
So yeah, we got a repeat offender special guest star here, Hajj Flemings. How are we doing, sir?
I'm excited to be here.
You are not.
Yes. I was driving down the freeway. I was going fast. I was like, I can't wait to get down to the Russell Industrial Complex Center.
Because we left the elevator on the 4th floor. He had to take the stairs.
Because they have triple flavored popcorn and water for me this time.
That's right. That's right.
I was literally thinking, better made. I can support the local economy.
Better made triple popcorn. Yeah. I go to Chicago
he
and I
literally walks in and grabs a bottle. I totally saw that. You don't think that I didn't notice that right off the bat?
Yeah, walked right in, went over to the bag. Popcorn. We're
that's what Better Made needs to do. You know, in Chicago, when they have Nuts on Clark on Michigan Avenue.
You're nuts on Clark.
You're nuts on Clark.
Have a Better Made triple popcorn stand.
Again, how are we not sponsored by PBR, Slim Jims,
and Better Made?
At some point,
in blue,
it'll happen. Yeah, PBR.
The PBR. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't drink, so I don't know.
You should start, man. It's good for you.
My advice to you is to start drinking heavily.
That's right.
So, Hajj,
you don't drink, you don't golf. What do you do?
So, Hajj, your latest endeavor, StarterFest. What's going on?
We are really, really excited about it. We just believe that if that if Detroit is going to go to this next level, that it's going to require people that are part of the community, that are embedded in the community, that are willing to take a risk to create something that's sustainable.
First off, I just want to say appreciate you having a name of a conference or an event that's actually talking about what it actually is, instead of making it some like weird,
obscure name.
Welcome to Fusion. That abstract,
right?
Dichotomy squared.
The feeling of the unknown, right? But yeah, so we want to be a part of, doing something that's going to be innovative, something that's going to help change the landscape. But we also believe that for that to happen, you have to have people that are embedded in this community.
Right.
Because the day after these events that are outsourced, when they come in, the next day, they're going to be gone.
It's the carnival.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to come. They're going to get people inspired. They're going to take all the resources. They're going to milk the community. And then once they're gone,
3 months later, it's dead.
They have no incentive to do anything else in its community, right? You know what I'm saying? So we feel like, if Detroit is going to come back, we need to be a part of that research.
Not even just Detroit, but the entire state, right?
No doubt.
The state needs a respectable event.
The state's having problems with people leaving the state that are finding.
Retention is
That's why we get traffic coming from Dallas, Chicago, California.
They want to see what's relevant in Detroit,
right? Or they left and they miss home. They miss talking about Better Make and Fago.
PBR,
right?
So we're just excited. We're excited. It's something new. It's something different. We've been trying different things. Just like earlier, we talked about just working on something like Detroit Week. And just being willing to take a risk and to try something that's different. And again, we went out. We talked to a lot of different people. We got the same response. We love that idea. But loving the idea and getting behind the idea and supporting the idea are
different things.
Totally different concepts.
Right.
I'd love to go on vacation, but I just can't right now.
Yeah. But the interesting part though is that what we found out is that it's so much fun when you go through the process and you're forced to think outside the box, because you end up coming up with better solutions. You end up creating ideas and thinking about stuff from a vantage point that you would have never thought about if you had all the resources set perfectly in place.
So walk me through. So it's StarterFest, right? You're looking for companies that are getting.
It's September 18th and 19th, right?
I was just going to say, let's go back to basics. When's the event?
So it's basically the actual. So StarterFest consists of 4 components, right? So there's the conference that takes place in Midtown Detroit, September 18th and 19th. There's the summit, which is similar to Detroit Week, like that festival-like feeling where there's various events throughout the week. That takes place September 15th through the 19th. There's the Starter Awards, which will be 32 categories of. It's a really cool thing, right? Like, so we wanted to do something that actually meant something to the actual community, where like the people who were voted and the companies that were voted were by like popular nomination from the community itself, and then the actual awards were given to people.
We probably didn't make that list. No.
Dave, if there was a long list, we're actually longer.
Well, so the community has to vote for you guys, right? So you guys have a really great community and following. So
wait, there's
no one listens to us.
There's internet voting? Absolutely.
Delane, you'll learn that you don't want to tell Dave there's internet voting.
Let's get this guy's IP address before we leave.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't matter.
That won't matter.
That won't matter. Because Bob will actually saw. Yeah.
He actually got Chris Osgood in the All-Star game.
Wow.
Came from like 2 votes to like first place. And
more importantly, we won the People's Choice Award for the CBS Blogger of the Year.
We have no reason being a Blogger of the Year yet, and we're CBS Blogger of the Year.
Hey, man, well, possibly you guys could win like Best Podcast, man.
There's no other ones.
No, yes.
All right, so where exactly is the event?
Honestly, if we don't win that, screw us.
Clearly, we're doing something wrong, then.
Yeah, no, but the awards are going to be really cool. So just to touch base on some of the award actual categories, there'll be like Best Moment of the Year, which could be anything. It could be our interview, the 40th interview of IT and the D, right? There's going to be
Best On-Screen Kiss.
There's going to be Best Coffee Shop. Because coffee shops are really relevant in the business community.
Yep.
That's going to be rabid with the hipsters, man.
So that's going to be pretty cool. And
disqualify Starbucks, right?
No Starbucks. So like Great Lakes.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Great Lakes. So I mean, let's just dispense with the pleasantries.
So aside from that, it's going to be taking place at the Garden Theater, which is in Midtown. Okay. It's actually owned by the Bird family, who owns Floods, one of the restaurants and bars downtown. They actually own, surprisingly, that entire block, man.
Really? Really?
Food in the
Wow.
building that Great Lakes Coffee is in, the parking garage behind it, and the new lofts.
Did not know that.
The craziest thing is we actually met them through mutual friends. It's an African American family, and it's ran by 3 ladies who had no experience in this entire industry, but their fathers and their uncles did, and they decided to just take over the family empire. And they've just launched a new restaurant called the Grill Midtown, which is incredible.
I've heard about.
Very
cool.
Really, really cool. And they renovated the building, the theater, and they're building offices atop of it. The lofts are amazing. They have like bamboo floors. Man, it's just a nice establishment.
Probably costs more than my house in Oxford.
It's quite affordable for downtown.
My shoes cost more than your house. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. One of the other things that we wanted to do too is that we wanted to be able to support local entrepreneurs, right? Because at the end of the day, that's a part of what we want to do. We want to be able to showcase, and we want to be able to tell more of these stories. But part of it is that we need to get people into some of these spaces that they haven't been into before. A lot of people that go into that theater have gone in there for concerts only.
Right.
But it's a great venue and could do some really cool stuff just from a tech standpoint. So if we can bring different communities in there and really showcase some of the assets that are right here in the city of Detroit, then I think that really begins to help.
So are you trying to match them with investors, or are you trying to just showcase them and grow them organically?
No, so they don't want any investors.
Okay,
but they want to grow organically, right? They want this to be
investors. Is it like event hipsters?
Well, not just even.
Well, no, I mean it sounds like that you're just they're looking for exposure.
Yeah, they have a variety of businesses too, and they're always interested in new ideas. So they want to get involved with the entrepreneurial community, whether it be the tech guys or the people who own barbershops or any service providers and things like that. They want, and that's the same thing with StarterFest. Just because it's StarterFest, it doesn't mean startup. It means literally starter. So we took this idea of being a starter from the Starter Elite team, who you see I'm wearing their hoodie today, and the Jason Fried and the guys from 30.
Yeah, those are the Chicago guys, right? Yeah.
Now base camp in Chicago, there's this concept called starter, where this is anybody. Like they believe that the word entrepreneur is outdated.
Yep.
So a starter.
Yeah, he hates that word, by the way.
Yeah, Jason.
Well, you got a classification for what constitutes a starter, or what's a quintessential company that
he was about to get to that.
Oh, see. But the thing
we are the worst interviewers ever, by the way.
Man, you guys are great, man. But I think
sales guy for crying out loud, coming some slack.
I can't speak as far as what Jason Fried feels about it, but at least for us, like we feel like that word should be undefined. It should be someone who wants to, who's maybe starting a blog and who needs like to learn some relevant topics. And we at the conference, what you'll find is different from most events. The speakers are curated. We think about, everything, not just diversity and diversity in terms of gender and race. We think about location. Has they raised funding? Where are they from? What's their background? Literally, we have so many variables that we consider before like curating our speaker lineup, and also the topics. So we go through with each speaker on like maybe 5 or 4 topics that they could actually speak on, and then we help them select the topics and walk them through with their talks as well. So that way, people not only hear their story, but come and walk away with like actionable takeaways that they can actually implement. So this will be an event that you'll actually learn something out of. You won't get up there and hear sales pitches all day. You'll get up there, you'll hear that person's story, and then you'll hear like best practices that you can implement into your business.
No, very cool.
Is there more than one path, or is there there's track? I should say.
So it's a single track, but we tackle on a lot of different industries.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily just technology. It's a lot actually about the leverage and the integration of technology into businesses, which is quite different.
Right.
And our speakers are very diverse. So right now that we've announced is there'll be 19 speakers total.
Wow.
We have 14 actually. So we have 14 confirmed. We have a little bit more confirmed, but right now we're announcing that we have 14 confirmed.
If you need any mentors to find a Caucasian American speaker, we can.
We're very good on diversity.
We might need a couple of those. We never know.
All right, just check it.
Yeah. Once again, should we be talking about this?
Maybe not, but yeah, just
we wouldn't be us if we didn't.
Yeah, probably
just
not.
To give you a scope of our speakers, right now we have 14 speakers confirmed. They've collectively raised a little bit over $100 million in venture capital. They've sold companies for nearly $4 billion. Excuse me. They have actually only 13 of them have Twitter accounts, but they have 1.7 million Twitter followers total. A lot of them are verified. They've invested in 120 plus startups, and even just in terms of like acquisition numbers, I said that out of 14 speakers, they've sold their companies collectively for nearly $4 billion. At least 3 companies that they've sold haven't even been disclosed and been rumored in the hundreds of millions. That's not accounted for.
Outstanding.
There should be some really good takeaways.
Yeah,
because we talk about the takeaway. takeaway. I mean, that takeaway is huge when you're learning from those people.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what I want to make sure we do. Yeah.
So there'll be 20 and 30-minute keynotes on the speakers, and then we'll have 2 fireside chats.
Is there any Q&A during any of those speakers?
The fireside chats will be Q&A, and the speakers will also have Q&A.
Okay.
But the really cool thing
That's what a
about our
fireside chat
events
is,
too-
Jeff.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, in addition to the fireside chat.
But even then,
Thank you very much, Mr. Sales Guy.
the speakers are going to be really involved. So I don't know if you guys are like with Brain Camp last year. Our speakers, literally, we lost 5 speakers because they were like mobbing down to the after party at Grand Circus with the attendees. And they had to like catch planes.
Nice.
Literally following the event.
Awesome.
But they're going to be really engaged. They're going to stay throughout the entire week. Those entire 3 days. And we're going to just do a lot of activities. We may even do some workshops throughout the lunch periods, so that way the attendees can really get the full value.
Well, and here's what I want to make sure we do is so I want to make sure we talk more because our next big event is 9/18.
Right.
Okay.
Oh.
So and it's going to be one of our pink slip party things. That's like
it's going to be.
I mean, those are the ones that are
When
6.
does it start?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
How about we could just make it like right now? Let's say the official after party is StarterFest Day 1.
And it'll be 600, 700, 800 people already, and that's so. Yeah, let's make this happen.
It's a done deal.
Yeah, it's at St. Andrews.
Let's get the details down, Peck.
Done.
The first day ends, I believe, 4:45.
Done.
So we can actually work. We're working with Uber again, and we can set up the Uber transportation.
We've got Mike White in 2 weeks.
That's right.
Mike White is literally one of my favorite guys of all time. And I don't say that as like no man crush.
Really, because he didn't like us all that much.
Yeah, he is actually.
He's coming on our show as a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's a great guy.
purely reactionary at this point, but hey, it's all good. It's all good.
One of the things that we really want to do with this, though, is that we really want to be able to take down the barriers, right? So we're looking at, some people might view our community as having gatekeepers that kind of guard and kind of determine how deals get done.
Right.
What we really want to do with StarterFest is that we want to be able to have organic type of serendipitous interaction with speakers, investors. Just like last year, we had a couple situations where we had a company actually talk to one of our speakers, and they're actually working on $1 million merchandising deal.
So
Very cool.
Those are the kind of things that we want to be able to see more happen. I mean, more of those kind of things happen, but also too, we want to be able to, if there are ways for us to be able to do introductions in real time where this stuff can really happen.
You're making connections. Yeah.
Yes.
So have you ever had
business connections.
No, if you ever have a how to do it wrong, you should have us on there.
Maybe we'll have a failure track.
We can talk about how to be wildly successful and yet make no money.
Right.
And everybody loves you and sues you at the same time.
Although, in the great tradition of Conan, our enemies have knelt before us.
That's right. Kneel before
That's
God.
right. They've moved along, and we have won. Life is good.
People still hate us, though. You know what? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm good with it.
What is best in life?
That's right. To crush your enemies. Yeah.
What we also want to do too, we want to be able to be a model of showing other organizations that what happens when it doesn't matter who gets the credit, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so more of those are the kind of things where we want to be able to say, you know what, there might be stuff that you guys do that's better than us, and we can say, you know what, we can partner and we can it could be a mutually beneficial relationship.
I think a great example of that was just right now. We just said, hey, let's make that the actual after party.
Doesn't take much.
Yeah. This thing is like, no, let's just make that the after
Well,
party.
but I mean, that's the same conversation we've had with MEDC and a bunch of other people with some of the conversations we've got with some of the initiatives that we're getting pulled into now. Dude, this is our strong suit. This is what we do.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
we'll roll.
Remember we talked about trying to be one of the pillar companies? Yeah. We have the network. We have the technology.
We can make it better.
we can help. Right.
Well, we walked away from one of those design committee things totally frustrated. Went to a bar, had a drink, and we made out an entire business plan in 15 minutes.
Yeah, in 45 minutes, we accomplished more than 6 months of 4-hour meetings.
We were done, and we're like, all right, this is the plan.
Yeah.
And also, too, you guys had a popcorn, so we already
we right.
we had the best snacks possible.
That's right.
Actually, that was over.
That was at the Park Bar.
That was over shawarma from Bucharest.
They stole that for you, huh?
What? Let me check the date on this real quick.
No, so that's up. So yeah, so I mean, it's September 18th and 19th, and well, actually, I guess stuff's going on all week. So I mean, what are you? The site's out there, and it's StarterFest.com, I believe.
Yeah, so StarterFest.com, and it's also at StarterFest on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, so like, what are you? I mean, so here we are.
Fantastic domain, by the way. I don't know how you guys got that. But.
So
you didn't go .co?
Well, we have all of them. Man, we have literally does StarterFest.
I mean, did you
smart?
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, so it's your business, but did you have to pay for that? Because that's like unheard of.
We actually we purchased that like. And by like coupons, man, we never purchase domains like full price.
Right.
We'll find like as many coupons available.
Oh yeah, that's like unheard of that you've actually found.
He's been real remote. We're just smarter than everybody else, and so we're able to get
kind of like us with the art in the
Yeah. No, that was a great name too. Great brand.
No, that's anyway. So I mean, it's the middle of like. What are you looking? So I mean, here we are at the end of April. This event's in September. What are you looking for people? Now, like, what are you looking for? Attendees? Are you looking for speakers? Right? Are you looking for sponsors? Like, what do people go to StarterFest.com and find?
So right now, you go to StarterFest.com. You'll actually learn a little bit about the conference. Right. There's a pretty lengthy description, I say, about the conference. It tells you exactly what you can expect to take from the event and what the experience that we're trying to provide. One thing that we highlight on the actual landing page right now is that we want to celebrate diversity. So you can kind of get the type of feel where it'll be this collision of industries and people and of different races as well as.
So the owner of the LA Clippers, not a sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Sterling can't come.
We don't think we can have him speak. Because sometimes he doesn't realize when he's being recorded. And
exactly. There's going to be a bunch of people throwing their shirts in the middle of the stage. I just don't understand.
No, we'll talk offline. I have a guy that I was in the 40 under 40 with Hajj, Andre Arbalez. He does the CIO events for the Latino community. He'd be a great tie-in for that too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to talk with him too. Yeah. So some of the, like right now for attendees, if you're interested in attending, you can actually go to StarterFest.com, read a little bit about the.
What a great domain. I'm still shocked that they got that.
That's what I mean. I can't believe that they actually got the domain.
We're just smarter than everybody else, and it just, we just.
It happens.
Yeah,
I thought it was check your egos at the door, man.
I'll be able to slip in real quick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, aside from that, right now, like 2-for-1 vouchers, or you can sign up for actual 2-for-1 vouchers. Yeah. So, we made the announcement through like a Medium blog post a month or so ago, and man, within 48 hours, we actually had about almost 200 signups, which were crazy.
Wow. Is there a limit? Is there a cap to attendees at all?
Yeah. So the really cool thing about the Garden Theater is because it's an entertainment venue.
Right.
There's a pretty, like, you could go 1,000, 1,200 people, and it's blank, so we can define our own culture at the actual event, which is what we really wanted. But we're thinking maybe we still want it to have some intimacy. We don't want it to be like South by Southwest. We like the collision.
You don't want it to be a TEDx either.
Yeah, we don't want it to be bloated because nothing meaningful happens out of it.
I'm not going to be inspired when I leave.
Yeah, well, you'll
here stand in an X.
I love those.
I love Detroit. I love. Let's tweet how much we love Detroit, and then.
Anyways,
well, aside from that, attendees can sign up right now for 2-for-1 vouchers. We're actually working on the next phase of like the website where we'll be announcing.
So I mean, what does it cost?
So 2-for-1
so say for example, right, like 2-for-1 would be like $400. So it's $200 each person. That gives you full access to
all three different things that you described.
All of the things throughout the week and also the conference. So and
apparently the best goddamn after party on the planet.
Amen. And that's what I'm talking about.
That's already paid for.
And that's for us, like we feel like that's pretty affordable. That's like we look at other events,
incredible, actually.
Outside of the state. We were talking to some guys who throw one of the largest conferences in the world, and they were like, "Dude, you guys are only going to charge $200 each person." And they're like, "Well, it's literally the general admission is $400, but we're doing the 2-for-1.
Right.
You can do 2 for $400, and then we'll do probably general admission at like $200, $225, something like that."
We had the guy that runs Comic-Con on last week, and he said, he's like half of what the national average is for booth space, just because
he's turning people away.
Yeah, we do have booth space available for only Michigan companies though, because we have some like special invited investors. A lot of
like actual Michigan companies, or like companies from other states that have an office here.
No, actual Michigan companies where the founders have to be involved, like to get
like
the
Better Made.
So that'll be right now. We're looking at like pricing
in a galaxy far, far away.
We're looking at pricing for like $500 $100 for that. That also includes 2 tickets. 36-inch round top table. For throughout the actual conference. So the 18th and the 19th.
Maybe we'll have to do a broadcast from there.
Yeah. Oh no, we actually have.
We could.
So we haven't. The really cool thing about the actual conference space is that
the interview is up there.
Yeah, we have space.
That'd be like
for
a 6-hour show.
So we can do the broadcast if you guys want to set it up.
How are they set with bandwidth?
We're good on that. And then we're also going to do...
We've heard that before.
We're simulating, and we'll make sure. I mean, we can work together.
No, if you're not Zing, Tali Marcus was Zing.
No,
a couple weeks ago, we had the guy in that does Zing Detroit. That
You
can
can do
basically,
gigabit rooftop.
Yeah, he could drop it in.
he can microwave burst in like a gig connection.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
Another deal just got done, right?
So again, once business is. This might as well be like a golf course,
right?
But this is where the best deals get done, right? When you do stuff on the back of a napkin. And the other thing-
absolutely.
And then the other piece is that one of the challenges that we have found being in Detroit, people they have caviar taste and they don't want to pay for jack, right? So
Sounds like half my clients.
Champagne taste, PBR budget.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
How do we, what I'm saying? So our goal is really kind of reconditioning people to where, look, we're going to bring value. But again, to be able to bring this kind of sustainable value over time, you're going to have to understand that comes with a price tag.
Yep.
Right?
And this is an affordable price tag. We're not making any money on this. Like, we're literally trying to bring something that's respectable to the community. And that way, I mean, for us, like, the benefit for us is now we have this network, right, that we can tap into.
Exactly.
We can also use that to build momentum for other things that we're doing. However, we're doing something for the community that adds value. We have the validation from past successes that we've had, and also from past failures, the lessons that we've learned. And we're trying to bring something that the community could actually enjoy, and that this could be literally Michigan's first must-attend event, because you have, when you look at even just the speaker statistics alone, that's comparable to an event that brings 10,000 people.
Oh, easy.
So it's like, come on, man, we're trying to do something that you guys could say, hey, I'm going to StarterFest, or we can bring maybe 40% of attendees.
See, now we're all about paying it forward. So when we put out our sponsor call, we basically just have to send out one email blast and it's full.
Right.
We say, hey, we need 5, we need sponsor. As far as lead up, are you doing anything to like pay it forward? Are you putting out any content prior, or what?
Who do you want
discounts for early reg or anything like that?
All right, so here's the deal. Let's hop back into this on the other side of the break, because we are up against the break.
Do we actually have to have a break? We're actually, this is like our own rule, right?
Man.
I'm telling you.
So let's dive back into more of this. I want to talk more about this. I want to talk about So we'll have more fun coming up against on the other side.
This is the IT in the D show.
We'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. IT in the D show, segment 3, episode 40. My guy nailed that one.
You did.
You did.
Practicing that during the break.
Wait. This is Bob, the sales guy, here with Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. We got Delane in the house. Hajj Flemings talking about StarterFest.
Fastest 2 hours of podcasting.
Yeah, honestly, God, we've been it's funny, the breaks we've talked nonstop about stuff going on.
Yeah.
And honestly, do we actually have to have a break?
No, we really
it's our own rule.
Yeah.
Just so we can go have a cigarette.
That's what it is. Yeah. Either that or Dave will explode.
He walks out every break.
That's why.
He goes outside and lights himself on fire. That's what
But see, this is what you have to understand. Nobody remembers people that follow the rules, right? So people only remember the rule breakers. So if you keep following rules, people will forget about you. But if you break the rules, then everybody will love you.
Rule schmools.
We broke the rules when we started this crap.
So let's dive back in. So Hajj, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, dude, you've got like 9,000 different things going on. So how is StarterFest, like, how is that going to relate to Brand Camp? Is it going to?
Replace it?
Or is this just something else you're doing?
Yeah, no. What we did is that we strongly believe in customer feedback, right? So so it's one thing to have an idea and to work on something, and to do that in a vacuum. what we really tried to do was look at, okay, what are people saying? What is the community saying? And
Right.
so brand camp still exists. We'll do that probably in more so probably like some other markets. There were a few misconceptions, and we felt like there was a certain cap in terms of what we could do with it. So if you look at like some of these other markets, we've already talked about South by Southwest, we've already talked about Big Omaha, but those are the kind of events that have a chance to really change the landscape of an entire state.
Well, there isn't that signature event in Detroit yet. Is there that? There's not that signature.
I'm sorry, what are you, Don Cherry? Detroit?
Did I say Detroit? I didn't say Detroit.
What is Detroit without the O? Detroit?
And that's what we're looking at in terms of what
Like it's national exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the ability to be able to, where we can kind of reimagine and recreate what that looks like. We can organically build that with the community here, and we can do it where we can begin to tie in some of the other major hubs inside the state of Michigan and do something that's really, really different. When people hear brand camp, some people have a misconception that means that if they're not building a personal brand because of how it started, that it might not be for them. But what they really did not understand is that every single person is a brand, and there's something unique about their story that they bring to the table. So all the speakers, the companies, and the things that we're curating, what happens is that each one of them is bringing something really unique, and they're really living testimonies, right? So again, it's not somebody who just studied this and who's doing a blog post on it, but now we have people that have
not somebody with an MBA that wrote a thesis about.
They're actually building real companies. They're selling real companies. They're selling real products and services, and so it's a different dynamic when you have the people that are actually building the stuff coming and speaking and sharing their best practices, and really communicating a lot of the human capital.
And the talks are unique too, so that's pretty cool. Because
so, like, from what perspective? Like how?
So again, we work with the Hajj is a fantastic speaker. So he
I'm the best speaker that's on the lineup. Anyway, everybody's really coming to hear me, and then after I speak, then everybody else, it's
check your egos at the door.
What side of the door? This side of the door, or the other?
Right?
Side?
Yeah.
Would you like more popcorn, sir?
Buttered only.
No, that's it. That's in his rider next time. We have to pick out the cheese and the caramel corn out of the popcorn bag.
They'll all be in separate bowls.
It's like a TV dinner.
So, and like laughably, there was actually a week where they didn't have the combo bags, and so
I wouldn't be here then.
No, I bought the 3 individual packages.
Bob was devastated.
He actually had to make his own. He was traumatized.
He's like a Boy Scout. I need to mix them.
Right.
What Hajj actually does months leading actually up to the actual event, he'll prep the speakers. So he'll obviously these guys and gals, they all speak all over the country, so they know how to actually speak. But one thing that we want is to make sure that there actually are takeaways
relevant to here.
So it's relevant to our community, not every community but to our community and the people in the state of Michigan. But also that there's takeaways in the event. The content is relevant, and that this isn't like something that they go and say to every event and throughout a year.
Right. Yeah. Right. The hell did I just do there? Why did I? Yeah.
Yeah. So we try to make sure that this is all new information. And one thing to say too is with StarterFest, we think that it's important to get all of the different hubs. We look at Michigan as the 5 boroughs. In New York, we say that there's 5 populous hubs and the surrounding areas. There's Ann Arbor, there's Lansing, there's Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and then there's the Metro Detroit.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
And we want to not only tie just the Metro Detroit area, but all of those hubs to this event.
Right.
And then also from out of state. So we're working with some of the biggest organizations and companies in New York and LA and Atlanta and San Francisco, and we're really pushing to bring 40% of the attendees here. One thing that we want to do, personally, we act as, because we travel a lot. One thing that we try to do is act as evangelists for the state of Michigan. We try to encourage businesses, people to visit, do business here, to just even travel here, whether it's for business or just for leisure. It's really important to be able to establish those connections outside of the Michigan area. That way we can leverage those resources for sustainment.
Is there any resistance to that? I know, as much as they want to be a part of the community, Ann Arbor has their own version of everything that Detroit has, for example.
So not really. So we're not for us. I can't say for everybody, but for what we're trying to do, they really get it, right? So they're like, well, how can we also tie them in where more people can have access? So we try to work with that. We don't bring these speakers here and say, no one else can meet you guys. No one else can hang with you guys. We'll bring it in. we don't do the mind game.
Mine.
We'll bring them here, but they're for everybody. Like literally, like we like
because it's about Michigan. It's not about Detroit. It's not about
not about us.
Oakland County. It's not
More importantly,
don't tell Hajj that.
Well,
Oakland County is a great place to live, work, and play. No.
Believe it or not, but Hajj is the biggest advocate for this. Like we literally don't just bring these speakers here and like we don't keep tabs on them. We'll provide them transportation. We'll provide them the connections they need. We set up meetings for them. One of our speakers actually, he hadn't seen his father. His name is Josh Miller. He just sold his company to Facebook, and now he's like their product manager. It was called Branch. So this is a Princeton dropout. Like his father lived on one coast, he lived in New York. We made this a family trip for him and his father to meet up.
How cool is that?
They came in weeks before. We set up meetings with them to talk to urban planners because they're both interested in that. Visit all of the museums.
Guys, a mile a minute. I'm telling you.
So it was like we make it a
gotta get him his own show.
Well, we make it a really cool experience for the speakers because this is a lot of them. Like this is surprisingly they've never visited Detroit, and when you talk to them, they had no expectations or plans to visit Detroit.
But you're taking it from a different.
No, because the preconception is there that why would you?
Yeah, why would you? Exactly.
Brian Wong actually came in on the same day that the bankruptcy was announced. He said that his mom called him while he was getting off the plane and said, "Hey, why are you in Detroit?" She said, "Dude, no one's there." Like, that's how she thought. And then she also told him, well, if you see someone running around downtown with their shirt off, run. So come on.
That's our joke. Right?
One of the best conversations we ever had was so General Robert Smith, retired, it came out to our event in December because we do a whole support the troops thing every year. And he was telling us how when 9/11 hit, he was the general that was in charge of all of the military for the Midwest region. And he said, so there he is, 9/11, planes flying into buildings, wacky mayhem ensuing. And the Pentagon calls him and says, hey, we've got reports that Dearborn is on fire. What's going on? And he was like, well, my office is actually in Dearborn, and I'm looking out my window.
And there's no fire.
There's no fire.
Yeah, part of it is that we have to change the narrative, right? Lots of times media is telling stories, never have boots on the ground, and so again, we need to be part of storytellers, but also too, we need to, as we bring people in, we need to help curate an experience. Just with our speaker to lunch last year, we took them down to Green Dot Stables, and literally they had the best time ever because it was a Detroit experience. They had a chance to be a part of it, and so those are the kind of things that we want to be able to create more and more of that. When we look at what we want to do between Detroit and Oakland County, Wayne County, we believe that for us to have a strong Michigan, that there needs to be a partnership between Oakland County and Wayne County.
You know what I think we need to do, Hajj? I just had a great idea. You know what? When all the speakers are here, I will provide the hookup for the party bus.
No.
That will bring all the speakers on a curated tour.
Can we get the audio working this time?
We can do that. That sounds fun. The speakers actually, we have a private dinner the day before.
Yeah.
So on that Wednesday, and that's like one of the and one thing too with the speakers, we try to make sure that there's chemistry. So we have a lot of gatherings where the speakers are just like with each other. Okay. So that way they can meet each other because a lot of the times they've none of them have met each other.
Right. And it's funny. Most events don't care about the speaker experience. They only care about the user experience.
Dude,
right. Kind of looking at both
the other
angles.
part of that is that they are evangelists for us, right?
Sure.
So again,
you want them to leave here talking the right talk.
We treat
them. Could get Dave to revitalize us Spirited Bar tours. All the local dive bars.
We actually took Brian Wong to a dive bar. Jake Cohen actually decided from DVP, he decided to take him there. Literally, Brian Wong, his flight was leaving at like 4 o'clock. Jake Cohen had him out there since like 2 o'clock. This guy was like wasted.
Phenomenal.
He was like, he had just left a meeting with like the big three and everything. He was like, dude, I am coming back to this bar. I think it was the Mongos or something like. I don't drink, so I'm not sure the bar, but it was just like.
Hajj, Delane's too young, but I used to work at the Post Bar back in '96 downtown across from the Joe. So you want to talk about
born in?
You want to talk about dive bars? Yeah. You want to talk about dive bars? That was the quintessential.
Wow. Yeah, and again, right now, part of the idea that we have, we always have to kind of figure stuff out even as we go, because again, we might think it's a really
willing
cool
to evolve as you go. You have to.
Yep.
Yes.
Learn and adapt.
But our speakers, just from the experience that we provide our speakers, like they're friends now. We see a lot of our speakers like hanging out, talking to one another on Twitter. They'll reach out to us and say, "Hey, I want to connect with this company in Detroit. I want to get involved more in Detroit." We have now, we brought Nicole Glares here. She's from TechStars. She's like the second in hand in TechStars. Now she's like, "Do you guys have any Detroit startups?" Now we're talking to Y Combinator, and they're like, "How can we get Michigan startups involved? Because we don't see enough applicants." So we're talking with like Sam Altman, like Atman, I believe. I'm really bad with last names, but the new president at Y Combinator, and Kat, who's one of the new partners over at Y Combinator. She was formerly the director of outreach to get Michigan companies involved. Even the people who leave Michigan to go to San Francisco to start companies,
we still have a connection.
We're introducing them to just because of, like, the Michigan connection. So I mean, we're really just trying to better the community. Like,
and that's been the really cool thing from our perspective. I mean, over the course of the past year in particular, there have been more and more people that have reached out through the group or via email, whatever, that, hey, you know what, when things went sideways back in 01, 02, 03, I bailed, I had to go find a job in Texas or wherever. I'm really thinking about coming back home. How do I do that? Like, do you guys have people that are? I mean, those are the cool conversations to have. Is that there is this kind of vibe that's growing now that Detroit is a great place for jobs.
Well, we joke about it all the time. It's like, now it's hip to be back here. I mean, the cost of living compared to San Fran or Chicago or New York is incredible.
Yeah, $1 million, you can own a block, or you can own a closet in San Francisco.
Exactly.
So the thing is, with people who want to come back, a lot of it is like they want to come back because they like the community, but there's a lot of bureaucracy in the community. So when they come, they'll visit just to get a taste of the experience and kind of get their feet wet. To see like what's really.
But that whole "you're not Detroit enough" thing's got to go.
Oh yeah,
it's gotta go.
Yeah, it just
we're all family. It's gotta
go.
go.
Place for that type. Like, it's just like the Donald Sterling thing. Like, there's no place for that in the NBA. There's no place for that in our community.
No, but I grew up in Warren.
Shinola. Shinola's not Detroit enough.
Really? Shinola is literally one of the best things that's ever happened to Detroit.
No doubt.
Yeah. And then also, too, people have to think about what are they producing? They're producing jobs, right? So
exactly.
Again,
right.
So, okay, so what's not Detroit enough? You don't want people in Detroit to work?
You can say that about General Motors. They don't produce their own parts. They assemble from other manufacturers.
Maybe like people.
It's no different than Shinola.
I mean,
I've had Nissan since 2003.
Yeah.
And people are always like, "Oh, you drive a Nissan?" I'm like, dude, it was built in Tennessee. It's more American made than the friggin' Trailblazer you're driving. Kiss my ass.
I mean,
all the minivans are built in Ontario.
Right. I bought a Volkswagen headquarters is in my backyard.
Right.
Like literally in my backyard.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and what people they have to see the bigger picture, because at the end of the day, when you have a successful Shinola, what it does is that now it creates more opportunity and more interest. Right now, I'm talking to someone who is in the company that's called Quincy Woodworks. They create actual skateboards in the UP, right?
Okay.
I mean, so there are a few places in the country where these trees grow that are used for longboards, right?
Okay.
And so now we're having conversations about now having them produce product out here in the city of Detroit. But when I talk to them, they already have distribution based out of San Diego, and was telling me that there's this huge market for Detroit produced product. And he said,
it's a brand.
Yes,
it absolutely is.
And so the Shinola story, really what that does is that opens up the door for other manufacturing of other cool products, not just Shinola products. And so again, when people say that Shinola is not Detroit enough, they're creating jobs and it's creating opportunity and awareness for the city of Detroit, but also of other companies who could come up with other cool stuff.
But Hajj, you're discrediting the big three when you say it's not Detroit enough, because that's the model that all the autos use. You know what I mean?
But
they're not using their own tires. They're not using their own radios. They're not using their own anything. They're buying parts from Visteon, Lee, or whatever, and assembling an automobile, and they're marketing and they're selling it.
Yeah, but they're outsourcing more than they're actually building within, right?
But nobody tells that part of the story.
They don't.
Of course.
And for even in our industry, right? Like, that's the same thing. All of these big organizations, and this is no discredit to them, but they'll put money behind an outsourced extension before they put money behind people who are homegrown, embedded in into the actual community, who have validation from the community and also from past successes. That
any company that
even with you guys, I'm sure you get a lot.
Well, any company that outsources their manufacturing to China, is that no longer an American company?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, but I mean, you look at we've talked about this a couple times now. The whole thing where Snyder is trying to open it, or actually he's successful now, where he wants to bring 50,000 more immigrants a year into the Metro Detroit, Michigan area because there's not enough talent here. Dude, there is enough talent here if you would, sit down and pay attention to what's actually in the area that, needs.
Hey, my parents were immigrants, man. I'll fight you on that one.
Do you think it's just exposure or like access? Or,
no, I think it's depends on the industry that you're talking about.
Well, let's just talk specifically
IT.
Tech. Yeah. Do you think that because there's a lot of people who are hungry to learn new things,
right?
I think there's
willing to. Why don't we train them?
But there's just as many people.
Those grants are there.
There's just as many people that are lazy that don't want to be retrained,
and there are. And I get
that's the problem.
That's fine too.
But so you've got the big companies that are here in the area where, okay, you know what? We just laid off 200 COBOL guys because we don't need COBOL anymore. And oh, by the way, now we're hiring 200 .NET, Java, mobile app developers. And then you're whining about you can't find that talent. Einstein, why aren't you partnering with somebody?
Dave, you and I
take those 200 COBOL guys that know your company and know your business, run them through a training class, and turn them into
Dave,
.NET, Java,
Dave, you and I went through
guys.
this at Polk. I mean, they laid off their entire COBOL staff. I mean, we're literally talking about this.
Yeah.
They replaced them with all Java people.
So let me tell you this.
Oops.
So I have Starter Lead. It was actually called Code Academy, Academy at first.
Right.
Those are our friends, Mike McGee and Neil Silas Griffin out of in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
So first off, if you guys don't know their story, is
they're awesome.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
They bootstrapped this company literally from nothing. And they put up a web page and hustle and get I think like 88 people to sign up before they had an instructor, before they had a space. Then President Obama, Harper Reid actually wanted them to join the CTO team for President Obama. They decided to turn President Obama down and go and build this crazy dream. This was before General Assembly. Like they were the first popular almost
that's awesome
vocational training school to learn how to.
These are the guys that now have buy-in from 37 Signals, right?
Yeah. So 37 Signals is a partner of theirs.
Right.
That's their first outside of investment. But literally, they grew this company within a couple years with 18 months. To a few $1 million in profit now. And now they actually just recently signed the deal to teach, I think, 12,000 college students and high school students and professors how to teach them how to code. They're teaching the professors how to teach people how to code.
Sounds like us in high school.
Because the mayor believed in them, though, right? So not only was the mayor exposed to what they were doing, but he had enough buy-in. And these are guys who didn't even know how to code themselves. They were trying to find
That's the most fascinating thing is they didn't even know how to code themselves. But they saw an opportunity.
Yeah, and they wanted to learn this, and they were willing to actually.
They were their own first students.
Exactly. So and even Jason Friedis took in a class with them to learn more about a product that his team developed. So I think we just need to support one another. Too many people, what I see here, and we go to other hubs and we don't see, is we go to other hubs. There's two people we could be doing the same thing, Jeff, but we're not in competition. How can we help each other? Well, here it's they're in competition with us. Let's stay away. Let's not tell them what we're seeing, how we're succeeding, and how we're failing. Let's not try to figure out how we can collaborate, how we can integrate what we're doing.
I meet with other IT CEOs and entrepreneurs all the time. The IT industry in the Metro Detroit is $1 billion, right? We're technically competitors, but we more often than not collaborate. Because we're not stealing each other's business.
There's more than enough.
There's more than enough space for everyone to
People
play.
don't think about it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the worst part. It's why can't we just work together?
Right.
What I really admire about the Bamboo team, the Bamboo Detroit team, which is a co-working space, is when they did the whole collab thing. I love Amanda too, man. But no, when they did the whole collab thing, this is a co-working space that's probably, if in my humble opinion, the best co-working space in the entire city, if not the state, because they have the best community. They completely bootstrap this thing, and they're so willing to help their the actual members of their community get their ideas off the ground. They bootstrap this thing from a few $1,000s to now.
It was just
we just had them in a couple weeks ago. Heard the whole story.
50 members, and they had problems with internet,
and they didn't have internet connections.
Did they work out their Wi-Fi yet?
They were handing out AOL connection CDs as people walked in the door.
But now there are 50.
That wasn't a coaster.
There are are 50 members strong, right?
Right.
Now you have other co-working spaces coming to them and say, hey, how can you guys teach us how to build a community like this, right? But they don't want to help and support them to say, hey, we'll also help you guys finish that conference.
Well, and we get that all the time. Literally, we've published. There has to be at least 6 or 8 different blog entries that we have on our site
about a book worth, right?
About how to start a networking group and how to run in it, because we get asked all the time, how do we do what you do?
Can we do this in Lansing? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, here's the blueprint. This is what we do. This is what works. Though. Yeah. Well, and it's all about, okay, are you willing to put in the time? Because like Bob said, yeah, we started doing this in 2001. We didn't jump until 2009. When we started doing the Pink Slip Party thing.
3 of us, maybe 4 other guys for the first 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. So you know what happens is when it's only that many people, if they can't hit that rocket, like that hockey stick growth is what they call it.
Right.
Like if they can't bring 200 people together in a room, they won't do it. Like Hajj will tell you. Hajj has some great stories about early events that he tried to do where there was 10 people and he still put on the show. Like just because, like that.
It wasn't quite 10 people now.
No,
it was 7.
But it was 7.
But the point is you persevered, right? And you kept at it.
It was just so interesting because our first brand camp, we started out and I just knew that it was going to be sold out, but people stayed away by the thousands, right? And so then, and so the interesting part is that there were 35 people there. But that included my mother, my wife, all the volunteers, all the speakers. So it was like 13 people actually paid. And the interesting part was this is when I learned about media. So I had my first interview, and this was a lady who worked for Cranes, and then Cranes had another.
Like a competing event?
Well, no. They had like another media outlet, which was more for creative people. And so, so she wrote the article and said there was 35 people in a 150-seat auditorium. And I was like, really?
Wow.
And so, again, what it did is that it made me realize that anything that you say to the media, they'll use it against you. But
absolutely. Yeah.
But I learned from that. And
can I tell you a quick story? I don't mean to cut you off. Lady knocks on my door back in 08, 09. Says, I want to write a story about your neighborhood. I love your house, but your neighborhood is not fully built. I go, yeah, the builder went bankrupt. It is what it is. Yeah. Love the house. It's gorgeous, but the neighborhood went to hell.
I remember this.
So when the Kwame scandal was just breaking, right, with the texting and all that stuff, me and my wife and my kids get the front page on Monday's Free Press going, when your dream home becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
And this woman
Bob became the sad panda of Auburn.
The neighbors wouldn't talk to me for 2 years because I completely just trashed. But I said, hey, nothing's getting done in the neighborhood, but I love the house. So my neighbor's the architect that actually built my house. He's like, Bobby, what'd you do to me? Come on. I go, I didn't know. She knocked on my door. She's a nice lady. That's the first time I learned about screw the media.
Because and so again, you go through different situations, but I don't think you learn about. There's a thing called theory and practice.
Yep.
You can do something in theory all day, but it's totally different when you do it in practice, and you actually have to go through the process, and you really learn how to do stuff, and you learn how to make connections, and you learn how to build stuff.
It's idea versus execution all day, every day.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, we're going to hit our third break.
Wow.
Another break. It does.
Again.
It flies. So, yeah.
This is the IT in the D Show.
We will be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
That's how you really feel.
And we're back. Live. Segment 4.
Right. Mics are live. Mics are live.
Mike is hot.
Wait. The training wheels are off. The training wheels are off.
Episode 40. IT in the D Show. Here in the Robert A. Wick Studios. Russell Industrial Center. Beautiful Midtown.
We need a bell, man. Give us a bell.
Bob was going after the mini stick.
Bob, the sales guy. Yeah, Dave got these little quarter ones.
That's all they had.
Oh, whatever.
Little
He was
Slim
being
Jims.
cheap. The budget is tight for those, man.
That's all they had.
That's what she
But the
said.
Better Made is always good. I'm
telling you. We got you hooked now, man.
That's right.
Other people, we bring whiskey, we bring wine in for Hajj. We know we're getting the popcorn.
Absolutely.
All right, so what are we talking about?
God, we got a bunch of crap written down.
Hey, let's swing back to the whole, we got a whole list, a laundry list of things. I mean, there was a couple of funny things.
Does it matter? So, you know what? Let's talk about the whole Star Wars thing, because, I mean, just from a Geek Fest perspective.
Let's just get it out of the way.
You know what? Screw you, George Lucas, yet again. You know what? You didn't have 12, whatever episodes written when
I
it
don't
first
know that
came
actually
out.
this was his call, though. I think this was actually...
Didn't he he sold the company, though, right?
He sold the company to Disney. Yeah,
for $4 billion.
Which they made gross revenue since 77.
Yeah, that was all of his money that he made since 77.
So did you guys hear what happened? I don't know if you're a Star Wars geek or not, it doesn't matter. So all of the books that came out from like the early 90s up until last year.
And there are a lot of them.
And there are a lot of them.
I'm in the author's notes of 2 of them, so this kind of pisses me off.
Right.
Wow. There's my geek cred. I'm in the author's notes for 2 Star Wars books.
So with the sale of the Star Wars franchise to Disney, they're making new movies, right? So Episode 7 is coming out next year, right? So that they're filming that as we speak. So they have declared all of the books that happened from the early 90s to this year as non-canon. Like they don't exist.
They don't exist.
They don't exist.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for all the money that you spent on all the books and comic books and everything else that you bought.
But no, just so they say it doesn't exist. That's like saying, the 89 Michigan Championship doesn't exist. Well, I watched it. They won.
Well, yeah, it's like
we're talking about
Terminator.
this.
So you had Terminator, and then Terminator 2, and then Terminator 3, and then the Sarah Connor Chronicles that all had like different dates for when Judgment Day hit. And they're like, okay, well, which one am I supposed to believe?
Well, it's like Spider-Man. They just redid the one they just redid.
Any franchise has been around since the 40s. Like Superman's, the origin story has been told like 70 different times. So like, which one would you believe?
Right.
Like the whole canon thing, non-canon. I get that, but so they're declaring an entire 2 decades worth of literature is like, that was just for entertainment purpose.
Well, it's because the current writers don't want to read this old shit.
Well, and they're going to release it under the Legends banner.
So that means that they're going to make a lot of money on the old stuff because now it's going to be, it's going to
collector's item.
Yeah, now
that's exactly.
Now it's essentially glorified fan fiction with cover art.
But you know what?
limited edition.
Right.
They won't be able to expose like a new audience and a new generation of kids to all of that.
Well, but see, that's the part. And honestly, that's the part that we were yakking about. That's kind of pisses me off about it. Is that so? Until like '91 hit, when Tim Zahn came out with his Heir to the Empire trilogy,
right?
There was.
We're getting deep now.
We are
again. Geek cred, author's notes, 2 books.
Bob, just go to sleep for a second because I know exactly what he's talking about. I actually still have my original hardcovers.
So do I.
Yeah.
Until that happened, dude. Star Wars. Okay, so Return of the Jedi came out in '83,
and there was
Star Wars was dead.
Nothing
after that.
Right.
Heir to the Empire came out in book form in '91, and people were like,
"Holy
crap.
Oh
shit, Star Wars is back."
The only problem is you had to read.
That could be it.
And so, literally, it was that trilogy that, it was that trilogy.
Movie, it's 2 hours.
Nejaba Nobata.
It feels like a C. Put some charts in there. Make it an A.
Exactly. Flanagan, what are you thinking? But yeah, so I mean, so it was.
Welcome to the 4th segment.
Yeah, it was that trilogy that came out that actually. So that was before Lucasfilm did the special editions of the movies. It was long before the prequels came out, but it was that trilogy that said, "Hey, holy crap, there's still an interest in Star Wars. Maybe we should do this." And so to basically
there's like multiple reprints of those books. Too.
Yeah, so to basically boot to the face of like the hardcore fans and all the new fans that came in from those years and be like, nah.
Do you think that puts a stain on George Lucas's like legacy?
Not Lucas, he's out.
No, that's what I mean. I don't think it was actually his decision. I think it's all because they're making these new movies. They wanted to have it be a completely different
experience.
A completely different experience.
they should've
Make
went under
it
a different
secret.
name.
Make it a surprise. Whatever.
Well,
you know.
no, but it'll be like when Jedi. When Jedi came out, all the hardcore Star Wars nerds were mad because it was supposed to be Wookiees and it turned into Ewoks and it was little fuzzy teddy bears and not like cool big dudes and all that kind of crap. And they were trying to sell toys. Like it wasn't about like you, the hardcore nerd. It's not about you. It's about trying to sell toys.
Merchandising. That's where the real
merchandising.
money is.
Let me ask you guys the question. You know what I'm saying? Just from a brand standpoint, how would you feel if you have worked on an idea, and now you sold that idea? Now he made $4 billion. He made a lot of money. But how do you feel now that idea you don't control it anymore, and someone else is now somebody else's baby?
Here's how
I'm actually surprised, just knowing what I've read about Lucas and how anal he appears to be. I'm actually surprised it actually sold it.
So I look at it the same way as like my wife drove by the old house that we sold like 3 years ago, about a week ago, and she was like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "They ripped out all these bushes we put in. They ripped out all the." And I'm like, "Well, we sold the house. It's not our house anymore. Why do you care? What like you did?
They paved over the grass and painted it green.
Yeah, it's not yours to worry about anymore."
If you built up McDonald's, you sell it, and then they start selling pizza. You can't complain about it. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Right. It's yeah. I guess that's how I look at it. I mean, like you own it as long as you own it, and then once you say yes, I'm giving this off to you in exchange for a giant bag of money.
Yeah.
It ain't yours anymore.
And let's be honest. I mean, Lucas couldn't even keep his own story straight about how many different episodes there were supposed to be.
I love Clone Wars cartoon came out.
I love. Did you see the picture that was floating around a couple days ago? That was they actually had cameras. They had a viewing party at Return of the Jedi, and so they had a camera on. Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher when it got revealed that Luke and Leia were brother and sister.
Yes, I did see that.
And just like the jaw drop, holy crap.
Yep.
What?
We made out on camera. Gross.
All right, so what else do we have on our list?
Yeah, welcome to Star Wars.
So the X Games revealed that you can win a medal playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, so explain this to me, Mr. Call of Duty.
I don't
play the game, so...
no, it's no...
Yet again, a link that Bob shot us that he didn't bother reading or understanding.
No. So they're going to have a look...
I just figured it, I don't play the game, so I figured Bob would tell us about it.
No, there's basically, it's like 16 on 16, and they have a tournament.
Oh, so this is like a competition. So like you could actually.
How do you make it to the tournament though?
It was like the top 5 points getters. No. From what I was reading, it's like
Xbox Live.
Xbox Live points, and there's like the top 5 point getters in certain districts, and you got to qualify. And there's a whole process.
So what do you get? Like, is it like do you have to go somewhere to like mail you something? What is it?
You can. You know what the process to get in it? That was it as far as the point. You sign up just like you would as a skateboard or whatever.
Wow.
So then you're playing video games, and you can get a medal, an X Game Gold.
That's hilarious.
Do they have some type of partnership established, or?
I have no idea.
I mean, honestly,
it's X Games though. It's no difference in snowboarding.
But you know what? This is marketing genius because I'm sure they're going to be flooded with people trying to get that medal.
Yeah. But is that something that's X Games worthy? That's the question.
Again, I think you answered your own questions by saying X Games.
Well, it's no different than like Starcade when we were kids, right? And they like have the Galaga Championships,
right?
And you'd win like a $50 gift card to Chuck E. Cheese.
Although what was the subject line of the email that you sent us about this article? You said the internet is over,
right?
We've given up.
Well, the interesting one was on a games front though. So Ubisoft just came out with Watch Dog, which did you click through the links at all when I shot them out?
No.
So Ubisoft released a little microsite called Watchdog for a game they're coming out with, and basically it's out there to prove how easy it is to mine and find data about you. And so
this
literally,
is some scary crap.
As soon as you click this link, it goes into every session that you have open or every cookie that you have on your site and basically pulls in your Facebook profile, your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter account, all this other stuff, and builds the conglomerated view of this is who you are online. And oh, by the way, assigns a dollar value to it to marketers.
Oh, wow.
Dollar value?
Yeah.
like Monopoly money, Bitcoin money? I mean, what kind of?
No, it's like, so here's what you're worth to a marketer because of your reach.
Right, like Amazon or Target or whatever.
Here's what your view is worth.
I would
to
actually be
a brand.
I would be fascinated to know what my value is.
Most people are afraid. That's why I asked if you click the link.
Most people are afraid to be converted, though, right? I mean,
no, they don't like actually send you a check once they display it on screen.
Most people,
I'm worth $1 billion.
But you know what? For 7 easy payments,
$29.99.
Yeah.
What if you call within the next 15 minutes?
We'll knock off a payment. You're right.
Most people are afraid of like spiders, like thunderstorms, like scary movies. Dave's afraid of marketers. Like everything is like between the viruses.
No, Dave's actually
and
afraid
the
of spiders.
Dave's actually afraid of spiders. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, he's actually shrieked like a woman.
But so what if Jägermeister buys your name? We talk about this all the time. Pringles buys your name and sends you a coupon.
Well, but I get but here's the thing. I'm not a fan of the whole all of that.
Well, you
marketing
say you like
crap.
Pringles.
No, but I'm not a fan of all the marketing crap that goes on. But my shtick is you have to understand that by participating in a platform like LinkedIn or Facebook or anywhere else, if you're not paying for anything,
you're the product.
You are the product.
But it's all opt-in.
And you it's all opt-in until they change their security settings every 3 months.
Right. But I mean, I tell them I like Jägermeister, so if I get a Jägermeister coupon, I rejoice. I don't go, stupid marketers.
Well, but it's not the like of Jägermeister and the coupon from Jägermeister that shows up. It's you liked Jägermeister, so let's go ahead and sell your information to these 9 other liquor companies that are out there that are trying to target Jägermeister companies. And yeah.
By the way, speaking of marketing, my buddy Paul from Core 3 actually got one of those
those are Paul Chambers, right? He just had a new child. So
he just had a son. Just a couple of days ago. Anyways, he actually
I think he mines everybody's data. All the crap he knows about everybody.
That's why I'm like, I'll name drop and Delane's like, yeah, I've known him for 10 years. I'm like, dude, you're 19 years old. How can you know him for?
No. Paul Chambers is just long story short. It's like one of the.
I met him when I was 7, man. I was on the playground. He had this kid there.
Showed me tremendous respect.
Anyways, my point was,
take his beer away, man.
You guys know Delane. This is hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he actually got one of the Taco Bell phones.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He actually.
How is he not on the show?
He wants to come on the show and talk about his experience.
Do it. Book him.
Oh my God.
Why is he not here tonight?
Because he just had a baby, or his wife just had a baby.
Yeah, he didn't. That's not my problem.
How did you not book him? I don't care about a stupid wiener kid. Book him on the show.
That's messed up.
He's booked, but I'm just we're talking about marketing.
You know what? Before the show ends today, what I like to chime in is that I'll be really interested just to get you guys feedback on this whole Donald Sterling, the conversation.
Oh it's like a train wreck.
Just from the standpoint of it was a private conversation, but now it's public information.
Yep.
I'll be very interested just to hear you guys' perspective.
Here's my thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually had it on the topic list and I deliberately avoided it. Why? Because we're 3 white guys that sit around and yak about shit, and I don't know that it's a conversation we're allowed to have in the political correct sphere. My first initial thought with it was, okay, so you've got an old, rich, 80-year-old white guy who's racist. Reaction 1, duh. Reaction 2,
it's unfortunate old school. That's what it is.
Yeah, and he's having
it really is.
And he's having this conversation with his half Latina, half black mistress.
Right.
Hold on. Who is being sued and said she's going to get back at him?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
$1.5 million. Embezzlement claim.
That conversation was the oddest.
It's $1.8 million, and it's from his wife. His wife is actually suing
Hajj. That conversation, she was trying to. You could tell. She was trying to milk him. She's heard him talk about that.
Guys, you know what? Follow the money.
Yeah,
follow the money.
It was a total setup.
She's heard him talk like that 100 times.
Oh yeah. It was a total setup, and again, when you look at it, and I think it probably was illegal based upon California
laws.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah. California is a two-party Florida. Both parties have to know.
But now that the information is out,
court of public opinion.
It's court of public opinion.
And I was
he's crucified.
Now we're here. Now we have the information, and so it'll be very interesting just to see, when you have a big brand and you have a component of that, do you allow that to deteriorate all the work, all the, all the other things?
Hajj, the problem is they're going to make him sell the company.
Yeah.
They're going to make him sell the company, and he's going to profit on it. So what the hell? What harm was that?
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a deep,
I know.
There's a deep, dark, evil part of me that, like, almost like, how many bitter, cynical conversations have we had where, like, my first thing was, okay, so what happened on Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere else yesterday in wake of this? You had, like, 8 million, like, pictures of, hey, I'm a white guy, and I brought a black guy to your game. Haha. Was this a shtick on some level? Like,
tinfoil hat conspiracy.
Is it a dark side marketing ploy on some level? But then you hear the backstory of the the mistress and all that.
It's not like it's a national brand like Chick-fil-A. It's the Clippers. It's not like
they're not even the most popular basketball team in LA.
I just go back to it's a private conversation. The guy's an old school, racist.
It happened with Al Brooks, man.
Well, no, that was taken out of context.
Next conversation, no. No, but you know what I'm saying. But I did a blog post today, and I did it, and it was called the Economics of Race, and it was and so it was this conversation of what is the most exclusive club in the world? I mean, or at least
Billionaire Boys.
It's being a majority team owner,
Oh, right.
And so so when you think about it, these guys and women, because there's some women owners as well too, are at 15.6 billion down to about 200 million at the low end.
Yep.
But again, these are ultra wealthy individuals, and and when you look at race plays into every decision that we make, whether it is mortgages, whether it's what school,
right.
people that you marry, and so again, it is intertwined into every single decision, and so it really is interesting in terms of how people feel when people know how you feel, and it's not just institutionalized.
Hajj, you're financially savvy. Do you watch Shark Tank? Do you know Mark Cuban?
I love Shark Tank.
All right, so Mark Cuban was crucified on Twitter because reporters were trying to, he's the owner of the Mavs, right? So he was crucified on Twitter because he responded with no comment when a reporter was asking him about the whole flare-up. So they were trying to make him that he was supported.
He's allowed to have no comment.
And he was pissed off. He's like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
And also, he has to be careful because, again, he is one of the 30 owners, right?
Right. So, again, he's like guilty by association because he's white, right?
What did you think about Silver's comment?
This is my opinion on Silver's comment. I know he's new, right? But again, I thought, and I know from
he can't make a brash decision. He can't go off like Stephen A. Smith. He's got to wait.
Yeah, David Stern is somewhere laughing his ass off.
This is going to get ugly.
The one thing that he did not do, when you come in, crisis management number one. You basically have to come in and say, look, you know what, due process. We have to give this guy his opportunity. Right. But at the end of the day, look, you have to show. If this is true, that you have a vile disdain for the conversation that took place, if it's him and if it's true, after
you have to distance yourself.
Yes, but I did not see that passion from him in terms of that this really disturbed
him. Scared out of his mind.
No, but the thing is, this is like his defining moment.
It's a toxic conversation.
This is his 9/11.
Yeah.
And I think on the first pass of it, he didn't fare as well.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
No, what do you think about what Chauncey said?
Right.
What
do you think about what Chauncey said? He said they shouldn't have taken the court. They were crazy to take the court.
No, I think
that's bullshit.
Really?
That's horseshit.
He actually said that?
Yeah.
He's not in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right.
But they got to play for them. You got to stand up as your own man and play. I don't to me, if I'm working for a company that comes out and says he hates Germans, what am I going to do? I'm going to go make money.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to think about what's off season. And I'm going to go take care of myself.
No, what I think is, one, they have contracts, right? So this is like how they like.
At the end of the day,
what are you going to do? Not take the court and forfeit the game?
So what I think
they're throwing jerseys.
Yeah.
Even
glad
they did that. Okay, right? Like you can do that, but not taking a court is just crazy. I think after Silver's decision, depending on what he does and how the NBA holds Sterling up to the responsibility or makes him take account for his responsibilities or what his decisions or consequences, whatever you want to call it. If that doesn't go through well, then they should boycott.
But this is a new rule they got to make.
But you know what I'm saying? They've already passed that point. In turn, you know what I'm saying? In terms of being able to boycott, that opportunity, I think, is gone. That ship is. I mean,
back to the court of public opinion.
They would have had to have done that on that particular moment. What I think should happen is
that's the worst part. Is like this isn't the first incident with this guy. Apparently he's got a track record of being.
How did he get two NAACP awards?
They canceled.
They had the second one coming.
Yeah. But he shouldn't even have been up for the second one anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I let you know that there are deals that are going on behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, this is my point. I think that the NBA, in an idea scenario, that the NBA should force him. I mean, his hand should be forced to sell it to Michael. To Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Hey, but listen,
and I've already
I've read that Magic is actually already trying to swoop in.
For him.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's what I wanted to see from Magic, because he was the name that was specifically invoked.
Yeah.
When Magic was on 30 by 30 last night, I really wanted Magic to like sit there and just go, yeah, and you know what, Sterling? Yeah, when your girl was hanging out with me, yeah, she had a much better time. That's it.
Well, honestly, that's part of that is part of the issue that I honestly believe. You know what I'm saying? That old guy had.
Problem is that's not in the rule. They were showing the owner's rule books.
Yeah.
The only way you can actually force it is if they gamble, or I think there was one other thing.
No. They take actions. Oh God, what was the
kind of detrimental?
You know what? It goes
detrimental to the NBA.
It goes back to the court of public opinion because it's detrimental to the NBA.
It's going to be difficult for them to be able to strip the team from him, But what they could do though is that it can become so uncomfortable.
Baseball did it to Mark Schott. They can do it. Yeah, they can do it to this guy.
It can become so uncomfortable because right now, imagine him sitting at courtside. What are they going to look like? Imagine him talking to the players. No player in their right mind is going to interact with them.
No.
So again, send him off. He's going to be rich.
Put him out to pasture.
Yes.
But that's not. I don't expect that to happen for at least a year. Like that, they're not.
I don't know. This is on fire right now.
Entire team, literally, that may not. Like that's going to be very difficult to do.
Follow what happened to Marge Schott, and that's probably going to follow that same path.
It's in the bylaws that they. I mean, and that was the funny part. Like knowing that the owners
got rid of her.
The team owners bylaw. Yeah, they suspended her for 2 years. She couldn't take part in team organization. Couldn't be at games.
They basically forced her to sell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but the NBA
she died then.
Yeah, well, she sold it when she was still alive.
Oh.
But no, the NBA owners' bylaws have it's Article 35 that they were talking about today. Whereas, so that whole thing
execute Order 66,
right? But no, so Article 35 says if you do something stupid that makes either that is detrimental to either the NBA or basketball as a whole. The ultimate penalty, subsection 4, paragraph 3, line 2
like
is
Mr. Law and Order over here. It's like
we can make you sell the team. Sorry,
so stop talking.
I understand it.
Dave Phillips, Esquire.
Right now, the team has more value. You know what I'm saying? It's probably worth about $600 million.
It's the first time they had a good team in 30 years.
See, that's the tragic thing about it.
Yeah. But I guarantee he could probably get $1 billion for that team.
Oh my God!
I guarantee he. Well,
that's going to be the argument: is who decides market value?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
a tarnished brand.
See,
but any
press is good press.
No. What?
Any press is good press.
It has
no. Not any press is good press. No. Tell that to GM.
The Reds never went down after March shot. They regrouped.
Right. It will never be worth more than what it is right now.
Right now at this very moment because of all the buzz and hype.
All the buzz and hype, but also too, sponsors are dropping off. You have State Farm, CarMax,
Kia just dropped out. All the
Good for them. My God,
dropped already. So again, it's going to be interesting. This next week is going to be really, really interesting. I'm predicting that Magic is going to own the team at some point in time.
Doesn't he have to sell his shares of the Lakers franchise?
No.
Is that a conflict of interest?
I'm sure it is.
He doesn't own the Lakers anymore, so he had to sell that off so he could go actually buy the Dodgers. So now they own. But what they did though is that they bought the LA Spark probably about a month ago, and they were basically doing a favor to the NBA because that's one of their marquee markets that was losing money. They bought the team because they're gold.
That was one of my favorite things you ever did on Facebook. You were following the WNBA draft. I swear.
Wait. He was
Stalker. He was the one.
He was the one.
That's what I said. Yeah, I go. The ratings are 1, and it's you.
I was making it blow up.
You know, it's crazy to think like that Magic has already been like doing all of these things that are like instrumental into like purchasing the Clippers. Like
conspiracy
did Magic,
theory.
Like, set her up?
Magic is friends with V, and he made her coax that shit out of Sterling, so he could buy the team.
The whole tinfoil hat
IT
thing,
and the
I'm
D
telling
right
you.
here.
Yeah, forget Deadspin, IT and the D.
All right, hey, God,
what a
damn
great,
it,
what
we're
a
at
great
the end
show.
of the show.
Yeah.
You guys want to come back next week? I'm just kidding.
You want to talk for another 2 hours?
Who can we kick off next week?
Yeah, I know, right?
This validate we're cool for real. We're going to have to figure this out again.
Karen wants to go home.
Yeah, I know, we're done. All right, so, God damn, so StarterFest, StarterFest.com is where they can find out all about that. And
you'll be on more.
We'll have you in
you guys
between
are
tickets are going fast. Tickets are going fast.
IT and the D show, beat it.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
One group rises within Metro Detroit and uses the power of the Matrix, networking, to light our darkest hour, and will continue hosting events until all are one. IT in the D. Read, meet, listen.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, so now I'm just like doing like stupid stuff to make me laugh.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Or wait, what do you have in Switzerland? Some kind of pikemen?
I don't know. I am from Germany, where the age of consent is 14.
What is it, the Alabama of Europe?
In many ways, yes.
Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. I don't care.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.